Good morning, great Americans. It's another great American video from Kentucky. It is June 5th. It's been a while since I made a video, so I'm going to make a couple of quick videos today. I ask you to please share my videos. I don't make money off them, fortunately for me. And but I do hope that people share and get the word out and watch some of my previous videos. So, a lot. So, as I've said in many videos before, what motivates me to make a video, a lot of times it's whatever the issue of the day is, but a lot of times just because I see something colossally stupid in the news that pisses me off so bad that I just feel like I have to make a video, and I don't prepare a script. I don't make any notes. I just jump on and hit it. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So apparently, and because I don't have any notes or a script, have I don't have the names and complete information for you on this, but it does not matter because this is the point. There was a guy recently, I guess he was on CNN News. Some idiot and moron got on CNN News, and here's what he basically said. He said, well, what he really said is that Trump supporters are idiots, but here's what he said. He said that Trump supporters feel the need to belong. They don't belong to anything. They're lonely people. They need to feel the need to belong. And Trump provides them with something that's the equivalent to being on a sports team. He gives them a hat. He gives them a logo. He gives them a line to shout, like "Make America Great Again." Then they feel like they belong to something. And so he says, but they don't really know anything about the issues or anything. See, they're too stupid to understand the issues. They're just lonely, sort of whatever, people who need to feel the need to belong. And Trump provides them with almost the equivalent of, belonging to a sports team. And he said that's why Biden lost the election. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is so pathetically stupid. I mean, just sheer stupid and ignorant and quite insulting on so many levels. I don't even think I can get to all the levels of stupidity that this man touches on, but I'll try to get on a few. So first of all, let's take CNN polling since the guy was on CNN, and I have seen several similar articles as well. This is what these guys do. Once they hear something stupid, all the other lemmings, they sort of parrot the stupidity. And so now I've seen several articles along the same theme. Um, but since this guy was on CNN, let's how about this? CNN polling, when it was getting close to the election, very often they would break it down by issue, right? Oh, Trump's ahead on the immigration issue. Oh, Trump's behind on the women's issue. Trump's ahead on this issue. Trump's behind on that issue. Right? They break it down by issue. And on some issues, Trump was way ahead of Biden. So what does that tell you? That tells you that the people are paying attention to the issues. That little piece, and that's an uncontestable fact. I try my best to deal in facts because facts are facts. And Democrats love to spew out insults, hate. Trump's Hitler. Trump's a Nazi. Trump's gonna, destroy democracy. All this stupid shit. That's one of the reasons they lost the election, by the way. That's something this guy doesn't understand. But while they deal in insults and hate, we deal in facts. I try to deal in facts. So I present that to you as a fact, which just by itself destroys this guy's narrative. The very network this guy was speaking on, CNN, when they break down their polling by issue and they show the issues Trump was ahead on and the issues that they were sort of even on and different stuff, that proves that the voters are paying attention to the issues. That includes the issues where Trump was way ahead, such as the economy and the border and national security, that's big right now. That's big. So the guy's a liar, right? The guy's a liar. But let's go beyond that. Let's look at some other things. Let's look at some of the people who are Trump voters. An amazing number of women who are mothers and with kids in school voted for Trump. Why? Because of the terrible things that Democrats are doing in schools. With the groomers and the sexualization of children in schools and this whole keeping, shoving sexual lifestyles down the throats of little children. I mean, little elementary school children, putting porn in the elementary school libraries and keeping it all secret from the parents. Parents got a whiff of all of that and they hated it. So lots of the mothers of these children, that's how the organization Moms for Liberty came into being, by the way. So these people came out as Trump supporters. They're very aware of the issues. All right. And they're not, what, do they need to belong to a club? They're moms in a family, for God's sakes. They don't need to belong to a sports team. How about all the businessmen and CEOs who came out for Trump? Do they feel the need to belong? Or they feel like they're outsiders or something? I mean, this guy is just a colossal idiot. So that's two reasons why this narrative was stupid. But I'll give you a third reason why his narrative also demonstrates an amazing level of ignorance. What he's ignorant about is that it is actually Democrat policies which caused Biden to lose. Well, he also lost because he was a senile, inept idiot. Well, actually, it was Kamala. That's how pathetic Kamala was, as I'm thinking Biden lost, but Kamala lost. But, Kamala and Biden they're associated with all the same policies. So, they're both interchangeable. They're both empty-headed, non-entities who are just, basically their policies reflected the radical left that's in control of their Marxist party. And so, but it was the policies that lost them. It was the open border policies that lost the election for them. It was their insane monetary policies that caused the inflation, which almost made everything unaffordable. That's what lost them the election. It's Biden's ineptitude and his inability to deal with the Ukraine and Russia is what lost him the election. And frankly, the anti-Semitism and the hatred of Jews, which brings to mind the horrible days of the Nazi Party and how that's reflected in today's Democrats, that's what lost them the election. It's policies that lost them the election. So this whole narrative that somehow the policies had nothing to do with losing the election. It was all because Trump supporters they don't belong to anything. And Trump gave them something to belong to. He gave them a hat and a slogan, and now they're part of a sports team. What a sorry, what a pathetic, sorry. I mean, but you know what? Us Trump supporters should rejoice in this. Once you get past the stupidity and the insult of this idiot for saying that, because I guarantee you, I wish I could get on CNN and talk to that guy. I'll talk policy with him and I'll talk him under the table. I'll never forget when, Kamala Harris said that she wanted to use taxpayer dollars to give sex change operations to illegal aliens in prison. What a fine use of your tax dollars. No, Doge would have loved to get a hold of that, right? I remember these idiot things. It's those kind of stupidities that lost them the election. And they never would engage in talking real policy with Trump. They just wanted to call him Hitler. They wanted to call him a Nazi. Oh, he has a rally in Madison Square Garden, and what did Democrats say? Oh well, the Nazis had a get together there back in the 30s. Therefore, Trump's a Nazi. That's the kind of stupidity that lost them the election. That's what it was. But like I was about to say, we should rejoice in the fact that they are this ignorant and this stupid, and I'll tell you why. That means they're not going to address their policy weakness and their policy, the Democrats, that is, the Democrats are not going to address their policy weakness and their policy shortcomings. Therefore, we will win the next election too. As long as they stay in this fantasy land, of worrying more about pronouns and transgenders and flying a rainbow flag, if they're more worried about that than they are about trade, the economy, education, the military, and national security, then we'll keep winning. And as long as they don't recognize what's causing them to lose elections, then we'll keep winning. Yeah. Oh, and let me just throw in another one because that's what my next video is going to be about. Another policy is their whole policy on transgenders, women in sports. I mean, men in women's sports, they don't get it. So I guess apparently recently the Democrats put together some sort of think tank or something like that to address why men vote more for Trump than for Democrats, or vote more for Republicans. But see, they'll never see. The problem is they can have all the think tanks they want trying to figure out why men will vote for Republicans over Democrats, because they will never accept the real answer. The real answer is that real men don't go for these gigantic lies that transgenders are normal and that homosexuals are normal, toxic masculinity, and all that other stupid filth. But these are part of the Democrats and the leftists' world. It's part of their fantasy world. So they won't accept the real answer. That's why they will continue to lose. And they can't change policy. They can't change their policies because the radical, insane Marxist left runs that party. So they'll come up with some stupid reason, like this one I'm talking about in this video. Oh, that's why men wanted to vote for Trump, because he gave them a sports team and they could wear a hat. Totally ignoring the real reasons why Trump won, which was on policy. But frankly, it was a combination of policy and frankly, just a combination of, you know what? People don't like the hate and the venom and the vitriol and just the sheer hatred that Democrats and their lapdogs at CNN were spewing out the last couple of months of the election. I mean, they couldn't talk policy. They were the ones who could not talk policy because Trump was winning on all of them. If you remember the last couple months, they were down to just calling Trump Hitler. Trump's a Nazi, Trump's Hitler, Trump's going to destroy America, all fear mongering. All fear mongering. Good old KKK practice of fear mongering. That's why the Democrats invented the KKK, was to instill fear in the newly freed slaves. And they still use fear today by saying stuff like that. Trump's going to destroy democracy. You're stupid. So that's the rant for today. Trump won on policy. Trump voters voted on policy. Some voted, for some it was a reaction against disgusting, just filthy Democrat policies, and for others it was for, people want to see him straighten out trade, and tariffs are working despite all the lies you hear in the media. So yeah. So anyway, that whoever that was, and I can't. I tried looking for it this morning. I couldn't find it, but he's full of crap. So Trump voters did not vote for Trump. just to belong to a team and wear a hat. What an insult. What an insult to all the brilliant doctors and lawyers and businessmen, moms, young people who all came out to vote for Trump. And of course, they're totally ignoring the fact that the black vote is seriously shifting in favor of Trump, and that scares the hell out of them because the Democrats have to have the black vote. Once they lose a certain amount of the black vote, like 30%, they're through. They are through. That's a little dirty little secret, excuse me, that they're not that they're not talking about. So that's the latest. So I mentioned how the Democrats spread hate. Check out my recent video about fear. And I wrote a paper on my website about fear and how the Democrats use fear, and I made a video about fear, so check that out. I did mention the sexualization of children in schools. I have some videos about that, so check that out. Please visit my video page on Rumble, and please visit my Substack page on Substack. I'll put links to both of them in the bottom of this video. And thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next great American video. Adios, muchachos.